We all know exercise promotes health and well-being. The folks at Blue Bikes are making that point in a novel way.
One key to maintaining mental health through the pandemic? For these folks, spending some quality time with their best friends did the trick. No masks required.
Fresh air, exercise, canine pals, what more could we possibly need to stay healthy and happy? Why, a little music, of course.
These stories and more coming up on ACMi News.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
Hello and welcome to ACMi News. I'm Toby Barrett.
And I'm Helen Frazier. Effective immediately, the town is requiring all individuals over the age of 2 to wear a face covering in all municipal buildings. The announcement was made on August 9th, and the town is encouraging all residents to wear a face covering in all indoor public settings to stop the spread of COVID-19, particularly the fast-spreading Delta variant.
We spoke to Arlington Town Manager Adam Chapdelaine about the change in policy and what may still be in store.
As I think many in town likely know, on Monday we announced a set of new measures to be put in place in regards to increasing concern about the Delta variant. On Monday, we put in place a requirement for all people, vaccinated or unvaccinated, to wear masks when in town buildings, while also issuing a strong encouragement for people to wear masks in other public spaces, so private businesses that any of us might go into. Board of Health voted on Wednesday to affirm both of those policies and also said that they would come back in a week and reassess whether or not we need to change the strong encouragement in other public spaces from a strong encouragement into a mandate. You may have seen that Belmont, Salem, and some other nearby communities have gone, I think Somerville, have gone all the way to a mandate in other public spaces. We weren't fully prepared to go there yet, but as things continue to develop, we'll certainly take a look at that. I think it's important to underscore a few things to explain why we're taking these steps, and I've really put it into two buckets. One, the science seems to clearly be showing that vaccinated people can both catch and then transmit this Delta variant. And though the data isn't showing that those that are vaccinated are experiencing extreme illness or severe illness in large quantities, the fact that they can transmit it creates two main problems. One, it could be transmitted to immunocompromised loved ones or potentially children who are not yet vaccinated living with any of us. And that's a concern. I think we want to do everything we can to break the chains of transmission, even to the vaccinated, to reduce the risk of transmitting it to those that are most vulnerable. Second, and this is where I will issue my continued caveat that I'm not a scientist, but from everything I've read and learned from scientists and doctors, the more we let this virus continue to circulate in our population, the more chance that there could be a worse variant yet to come. So if we don't squash this Delta variant, whatever the next Greek alphabet variant might be, could be worse. And that's, I think, something that's scary to me, and I think scary to a lot of people. So collectively, masking up again, even though we're vaccinated, to try to protect those most vulnerable and do our part as a society to not get us to another variant where this thing will just never end, is why we're recommending, or why we put these measures in place.
In other public health news, Arlington's health department also reported that the West Nile virus has been detected in mosquitoes here in Arlington. Director Christine Bongiorno urges residents to take precautions to avoid mosquito bites, since that's how the virus can be transmitted. These precautions include using insect repellent, wearing clothing that will help cover your skin, having well-fitted screens on your windows and doors, and draining any standing water near your home. West Nile virus infects people of all ages, and people over the age of 50 are at a higher risk for severe infections. The town is working to treat catch basins across Arlington to ensure our safety.
A bill to eliminate lunch fees for disadvantaged public school students passed the House of Representatives and has been referred to the Senate Committee on Ways and Means. An act to promote student nutrition, sponsored by Arlington's Representative Sean Garbely, would provide free breakfast and lunch in school districts and individual schools where 60% of students qualify for free or reduced lunch. Although Arlington Public Schools do not qualify under this act, Garbely was quoted in the Arlington Advocate saying that this bill is a part of a larger movement to eliminate school lunch fees altogether.
And as our summer temperatures rise, the Earth's atmospheric temperatures rise with them. Arlington's Clean Energy Future Committee decided to do something about climate change, and we can now expect to see changes around town soon. In their August 9th meeting, the Select Board endorsed the committee's Net Zero Action Plan. Our reporter, Sophia Titus, spoke to the town's energy manager, Ken Pruitt, to learn more.
After almost 3 years of research, planning, and collaboration, the town of Arlington is one step closer to having a healthier environment. On August 9th, the Select Board endorsed the new Net Zero Action Plan. With recent climate reports looking grim, I spoke to Ken Pruitt to learn more about the project.
So that's what the Net Zero Action Plan does. It lays out 31 specific measures that we are going to take as a community over the next 30 years in the areas of reducing greenhouse gas pollution from buildings, from transportation, and from our energy supply. It is attractive both because it's aesthetically pleasing, but more importantly because it contains an actual roadmap for Arlington to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2050, which of course is incredibly important.
The Net Zero Action Plan is being put into effect immediately, with programs being enacted in the present moment. Ken shared his excitement about the project.
The Select Board endorsed the Net Zero Action Plan at its meeting last night, which was very gratifying. Arlington is really a great community to be working on climate action in. There's a unified stance that this community must continue to take strong action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to prepare for the impacts of climate change.
The endorsement of the plan means that Arlington is facing climate change as a united front. With multiple new programs like Connect Arlington poised to come online, Arlington residents can expect to see more green changes being implemented throughout the town.
The Clean Energy Future Committee, which is the committee that wrote this plan, did flag a number of measures, 10 measures actually, to initiate, to at least start work on right away. One is what we're calling Electrify Arlington. It will be a campaign and informational resources, including a website, that provide information to Arlington residents and businesses about how they can eliminate the burning fossil fuels for heating or associated with their electricity supply.
If Arlington residents are interested in making greener changes, Ken said doing things like switching to electric vehicles, using electric heat pumps, and looking into the Arlington Community Electricity Program will benefit the climate greatly.
So residents can play a part in making sure that their electricity supply is clean through the Arlington Community Electricity Program, which is run by the town. You can go to ace.arlingtonma.gov, and pretty quickly, less than 5 minutes, if you have your Eversource bill with you, sign up for either 50 or 100% clean electricity. It's low cost, and once you do that, 100% of your electricity will be from renewable sources. If you combine that with making your home heating system electric and either biking or walking or driving an electric vehicle, you will be essentially at zero greenhouse gas pollution from your home and your transportation, which is what we need to do to get to net zero.
With everything going on in the world today, it's great to live in a town that truly cares about the health of their community. You can expect to hear more about the Net Zero Action Plan. But in the meantime, you should check out electric vehicles, electric heat pumps, and review where you source your energy from. For the final time, signing off for ACMi News, I'm Sophia Titus.
Thank you, Sophia. For many, the pandemic brought on unusual levels of loneliness and isolation. To help combat these feelings, many turned for comfort to their pets. My co-anchor recently spoke to one photographer who captured these relationships in her project, Tales of Support.
I really consider them one of the unsung heroes of the pandemic.
Boston-based photographer Mindy Dutka has been honing her pet photography skills for the past 5 years. She began her photo series titled Tales of Support during quarantine, after being inspired by the role dogs were playing in sustaining their humans through the pandemic.
I feel, it's a very isolating time. It's a scary time. It's a heavy time. So, and I think that everybody felt that in different ways. And the dogs were just such a source of comfort and love.
Mindy spoke to people about their experiences during the pandemic and how their furry friends played a crucial role in easing the stress that came with COVID. These dogs were more than just pets, they were true friends, and through her lens, she captured these relationships. 911 dispatcher Mary Wright has a relationship like this with her two dogs, Mac and Opal. Mary said her dogs were a welcome face after a long day.
I don't know what I would do without them in the house. I think it would be overwhelmingly just closed in and stressful, especially with my job. So yeah, they're my babies.
In her storytelling, Mindy highlighted the structure dogs provided for people who felt lost during the pandemic.
Because it was super easy to just fall into the abyss of like, I'm not getting out of bed, but the dog has to get up. The dog has to be fed. The dog has to be walked. And so a lot of people talked about how that gave them structure.
She spoke to one healthcare worker who lost her mother before the pandemic and then lost a close friend to COVID. By coming home and talking to her dog, she was able to process these intense days.
She just talked about how coming home to her dog was everything, and that she would go out at night and walk with the dog, and it was her chance. Like, she talked to the dog. So she was able to process and try to make sense of what happened during the day and regroup to go back and do it another day.
Mindy already has plans to continue this form of storytelling with a new Tales of Support project with the nonprofit Sober Voices. This organization hosts events where people can safely talk about their sobriety.
I'm going to start capturing stories for them of people in their organization about how their dogs have helped them. And what they found is repeatedly stories of how people achieve sobriety or maintain sobriety is the dog. The dog, same thing as the pandemic. So, it's the tales of support.
You can find Mindy's project on her website at dogsimeet.com and look at more of her work on her Instagram at dogsimeet. August is National Wellness Month, and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts is offering complimentary blue bike rides on what they're calling Mindful Mondays. All month long, residents can access blue bikes for free every Monday to help promote mindfulness, health, and wellness. The code to access free 2-hour bike rides is available through the Adventure Pass on the Blue Bikes app. The code is Blue Cross Mindful, followed by the respective Monday date.
No two barriers are the same in Arlington. Almost all of them have been decorated to add a little glow to the parklet spaces, with each one decorated in a distinctive style and with a unique story. Senior news producer Aneem Osmani met with one of the artists to learn more about her work.
Here be dragons, quite literally. Storybook dragons come in a variety of shapes and sizes based on regional folklore, legends, and myths. But here at Dragon Studios, the exotic creatures are works of art. Tanya Grifkin is one of the local artists chosen by the Arlington Commission for Arts and Culture to decorate orange barriers to beautify parklet spaces around town and add a personal artistic signature. The Jersey barriers located on Medford Street were designed by Tanya, an artist with an affinity for dragons. Therefore, the parklet space is reflective of Tanya's touch and the distinctive nature of the businesses around it.
I see it as kind of this little collection of foods and businesses that is sort of representative of Arlington, just having that diversity and appreciating different cultures, and lots of cultures have their own version of a dragon.
The dragon installation, made of vinyl, incorporates the long, windy body of a traditional Asian dragon with a nod to alebrije, Mexican folk art sculptures that depict fantastical creatures. Certain elements of the installation reflect the respective businesses the space belongs to: Lucky Dragon, La Victoria, and Gail Ann's Coffee Shop.
That was really fun to design, and they did pick it, which is why I'm here. And I love that there's this initiative to bring art into Arlington and beautify Arlington and make it the special community that it is.
Tanya's affinity for dragons stems from her early youth.
Dragons were kind of this thing of like magic and wisdom and power and like all the things I didn't have in my life. It's like I could create it in my life. through my drawings and through my thoughts. And art has really been just so important to me because it's that driving fire. It's like that fire inside me that it keeps me going.
Tonya moved into Arlington several years ago. At that point, she found her dream space in which to create her own studio, where she makes art in different mediums, teaches classes, and sells her work worldwide.
So this is my dream. It's always been Dragon Studios. I know you're surprised. What? Why dragons? But, I finally had a place to put all the dragons I've been collecting. All these years I've had like too many it's not possible to have too many dragons, we know that. But I collected, figures and art and all these dragon things over the years, and there's only so much room in the house. And I'm like, great, this is now a home for those collections of dragons and a home for people to come in and have that freedom, to create art.
And the story continues for Tonya as it does for many artists here in Arlington. There's always something behind the different public art projects you see around town, but now at least you know the story of the dragon. To find out more about Tonya Grifkin's work, you can check out her website, makemeadragon.com. For ACMi News, I'm Anim Osmani.
Thanks, Anim. Live music has returned to Arlington. The Magnolia Park Summer Music Series made its triumphant return on Wednesday, August 11th. I made the trip across town to check out the concert and see this old tradition come back to life. Summer fun at Magnolia Park as locals enjoy a return to live music. The concert series offers a variety of different local performers, but on Wednesday, August 11th, it was Arlington's own jazz group, Pillars of Society. Drummer John Dalton describes how it feels to be back performing live after a year away from the stage.
So it's been nice to actually have some stuff on the books and be able to play for people too. And what I've noticed as well is the couple things I have done people are just way more receptive to it. Because I think everybody, it's something you take for granted, right? It's like, I never would have thought in a million years, gigs are always around, even if they're not paying well, it's for it to just completely disappear. I think though for audiences too, it's like they realize what a huge hole that is. And it's, I think this desire for human connection through these sorts of things. I think it's gone both ways. So it's like, it's been really invigorating to play for people. But I've also noticed the energy of crowds. They've been invigorated by it too. So it's been great. It's been wonderful.
The Magnolia Park Summer Concert Series offers a chance for local Arlington groups to come out and play for a crowd made up of their neighbors. For Pillars of Society, whose members are 3 Arlingtonians, they made the dream of playing in their hometown come true.
It's nice to go out in the community and, be part of it as, again, I've been an Arlington resident my whole life. So it's always nice to, have an opportunity to play for people in the area, and don't mind the commute either, so.
The summer series continues for the rest of the month. Every Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30, there will be a new group performing at Magnolia Park. So if you have some free time, go support your local musical performers in this lovely setting.
That is all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to this week's newscast. For the cast and crew of ACMi News, I'm Helen Frazier.
And I'm Toby Barrett. We'll see you next time.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.